Welcome back to Cougar Chronicle, and I've been given the pom-poms because it's my favorite segment.
You were not given to them by me. I would like to, that was not
Greg
my
and Lisa.
idea.
Yes.
So, but that's okay.
Well,
We're
it
okay
always is. I have to get them out of your peripheral because we know each other well.
It seriously, but no, I know you celebrate this time and the cheering on and all that stuff.
Celebrate it.
It's a great. The lineup has been good. I think the questions are very important. We've had some very important ones, and again along the way, the one part of it is I hope that people get to a place where they don't feel they have to wait once a month to have questions answered. But we definitely, you get as you screen through things.
Well, the other thing is we do have, our school board meetings, and the thing that John and I try to drive home is that I go every time virtually.
Yes.
Just because it's a little late. I don't have to get out of my jammies, and I can still be a part of it. And
staying informed is a very important piece.
It is.
And also when we talk about the role of the school board meetings, the big piece there also when we talk communication is it's the board's meeting and the public gets the access to it. And so those public comment periods are an opportunity for people to reach out to say, here's what I believe. If people want a bigger dialogue or have questions, then we encourage them to email their board reps in their towns or email Allison Maston, our board chair. And always, we're here available for questions here at the SAU.
Exactly. And I guess the lead into the Ask the Superintendent question, which came from Warner this time. Okay. But it reminded me of, when I started teaching, it was a second career, as you know, maybe 20 years ago, thereabouts, when I was training and got my master's. The big question was, is it scary for kids to have that training that we were talking about earlier? And they were talking about what's the impact on a student of receiving that safety training? And we know what that involves, right?
Another good question. So when we talk the idea of safety training, one part of the conversations that we have is how do we present these type of things to our students? Obviously, when we're talking with an older kid and we're talking with a middle school or high school kid, there's more real world language that's going to be coming together. Think about the idea of how do we present that obviously to an elementary student, a pre-K through a fifth grader. Obviously, as they get older, the language can become a little more adult. But I think part of it is the idea of how do we get them to have the skills necessary without saying that there's an intruder.
Right.
And so parents may come in and say that their teacher took them outside and they were told them to go catch butterflies. And so the idea when you chase a butterfly, you're kind of all over the place to kind of be around. And so it's figuring out, and part of the training programs that we bring those things into light, because the fire drills are important, but we have to understand that there's sometimes we have to get out of the building quickly, and what is a tornado? I mean, I think all of these safety things can become very, very scary. And they're scary as a parent and as a grandparent and as a superintendent, let alone being a parent of a young child. And so we work really, really hard to make them age appropriate and to not use big world language with little minds, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. Meet them where they are
100%.
At their level, right?
Because when we think about the idea, like how do we, why is it important to stay together, or why is it important to, when we run, to get to the woods quickly or to get away from the school, if they have to have those situations, we really need to hone on what that skill set is. Sure. And we talk about that. And so in empowering kids, the importance of the line leader, why those skills are important, and how do we lead that out and caretake for each other. It's not really an easy topic because I don't know how you take some of these concerns and dilute them down to a place where it doesn't have some kind of trepidation or fear to it. But we again, coming back to that, we work really, really hard to try to say, okay, what are the skills that we're wanted to teach? How do we do that in such a way? I mean, we have kids that unfortunately have some trauma from whatever reason, but get triggered when we do a fire drill, because if we try to do it traditionally, we've got to get people more mindful of real world type of sounds. So it used to be the time when, I remember when I was teaching,
Yes.
the principal would come on and say, this is now a fire drill.
Right.
But then when we actually had a true fire alarm, nobody really knew what to do.
Right,
So we're getting
right.
in to try to do some more, at least exposure on things. And so sometimes we have kids that the loud noises have an impact,
Sure.
so we've got to mitigate and adjust and make sure that we have plans in place that if those kids can't participate, that we can get them out, or get them
That's
safe.
right.
Because again, everything is about making moves and putting plans in place for the safety and security of our students and our staff.
Well, and thank you so much for that question, because
That's a
that
good
was a good one.
Yeah.
How do the students react, and what does it look like?
Well, and I would
And I
encourage
appreciate
families always, if they have concerns, to reach out to their school principal, to talk to their school counselors.
Absolutely.
We have resources, and we're trying to pull some things together and to share out as much as we can. Not to tell parents how to parent, but just to say if you have concerns, like how do I as a parent have a conversation about why
That's
it's
right.
important to listen to your teacher during a fire drill? How do I have a conversation to talk about
What language
those
are you
things?
using in school so I can use that language at home?
100%.
Right? Questions like that. Well, you know what? It's time to wrap things up.
What a great show.
It's been a great show.
Yeah,
Thank you so
always.
much. It really
I'm
is.
so glad
Thank
for
you
these
to
things.
both of our guests and Nicole and Andy, as well as of course Michael Bissett.
Oh, just a fountain of knowledge and just a great teammate to have, and does a phenomenal job for
Well,
the district. Got a
thank
good
you to
team.
you too.
Wow.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Oh my goodness.
October, can you believe it?
And now I have my joke. In Missouri, it was always either give me a trick or a treat, or I'm going to tell you a joke, and so you would have to do all these.
Not the
different
ketchup joke
jokes.
again. Not the ketchup
one?
joke again.
Well, there's the other one is how do you make a handkerchief dance? You put a little boogie in it.
On that note, Grandpa, Dad
I'm
jokes,
here all
we have
week.
them all. Yeah,
Try the meal.
Thank you so much for joining us on this clearly silly end of our show today.
But you know what? We do it because it's fun.
And we need it. Yeah, and we do need that. Absolutely. Thank you for all you do, my friend.
Appreciate it.
And
Thanks
we'll
so
see
much.
you next month on
The Cougar Chronicle.